it down now that we're at the 8th of February. You only have 20 days left in this month. So either you're happy or you're upset because you only have 20 days left. I don't know which one. If you're in momentum, of course, you're like upset. It's like, I only have 20 days to do what I'm doing. If you aren't doing nothing, it really doesn't matter, does it? Because you aren't doing anything. But if you are doing something, it's a beautiful thing because you're like, how do I get all this in 20 days? So what I want to do is I want to play two pieces for you. And then I want to coach on those two pieces. And I want to make it available for the last half of this to answer any questions you guys have into, they don't have to be challenges, but if you have challenges, I'll answer any challenges you have in regards to the business. If you just want to know how to hyperspace your business and want to know how to exalt it, then I'm going to make myself available. If you have no questions, we'll just end the call because I got a whole lot of stuff to do. So in that all being said, it's really, here's my perspective on it. People make this business too hard. That's what happens. We make everything, it's not just the business. How many people understand that you live in your head and you can overcomplicate stuff? Is everybody understanding that? Do you understand that 90% of what you're scared of never happens? So wherever you place your energy, that's where all of everything else flows. It's a very interesting dynamic. How as a child we simplify and we just do the stupidest stuff, but we experiment, we learn. And as we get older, we actually start to hesitate and it's like, okay, that's not smart. Okay, that's smart. And then you do something you think is smart and you find out it's stupid. And then you don't do something that you think is stupid and you find out, oh my God, that would have been smart. Is anybody understanding this conversation besides me? So you get inside your head and you just, for whatever reason. So it's one of the reasons why I tell people you need to get back to, the inner child in you, and just really have fun failing, whatever that does to free your soul to be able to do this. Because this business is so, I don't want to say easy. I hate the word easy. I don't think anything worth having is easy, but it's simple, and I was talking to some people about opportunities in business just earlier today and last night, because I went to bed at I was supposed to be in bed by 12 and then I had a conversation at 1 and that took me till 4:30 and then I was up at 7:30 and I feel like I just woke up. Do I look tired to you? I don't feel tired at all. I am so energized. And that's what happens when you're actually living on intention and purpose and having fun doing something. And someone has said, well, what if you do $1 billion this year? And, some other things that I'm dealing with, which is dealing with launching this digital bank, which is really exciting to me, of something in which I've been working on, because I got pitched by one of my friends in DC at like 6:30 in the morning, which was 3:30 in the morning my time, about getting involved with an opportunity that deals with the credit card. And it's like, if you got paid every time someone swiped a card, I was like, but I'm already my own brand. I'm already coming out with my own matrix credit card that deals with, with cryptocurrency as well as with, with money. So, I mean, on hardcore money, coins, silver, dollars, as well as crypto. Why would I get involved with another company when I can get all the profits myself? I am an asset. I'm not sharing that with somebody else. That's just stupid. I spent my whole life becoming valuable to give it away to somebody else. No, that's not going to happen. But it's just a thought. Are you guys following this so far? But anyway, I want to simplify this for you. And I think there's two ways to do this. And it's going to make sense, even though we aren't doing PBRs, we're doing Zoom, if you will, I call them Z-Cox, right? So Zoom calls over cocktails and coffee. Please don't take it out of context. Stop laughing, Fatney, I see you. So what I'm telling you is, it's a Z-Cox, it's an acronym. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a grown folks channel. It's an acronym, Z-Cox, for Zoom call over cocktails or coffee. And it has been put in place in the evolution of time in place of what we call PBRs. So anyone that's brand new, so you don't get lost in the shuffle of what I'm talking about, a PBR stands for a private business reception. So when we lived in the old world, because it really is an old world, right? Before March 17th of 2020, in the old world, we would physically go into a home and do a home presentation. Now we've gone completely virtual. Every business has, and the ones that don't, they might as well be the post office in contest with email. They're going to become antiquated. So everybody's learned or needs to learn how to become virtual and become expressive like I am in this camera. And that's how you're going to expose it. And plus, it's just so much more effective. You can reach so many more people in a short period of time without having to drive halfway across town to deal with somebody who only put 2 people in their house. I don't mind getting on a call and you said you had 15 and only 2 people on the call. But if I got to drive an hour or fly across the country and you only have like 5 people in front of me, I'm shooting you. So now it's really cool. It makes it really fun. It's like, okay, let me just train you on where you messed up. But in that, it still comes down to exposures. If you launch a new tennis shoe, exposures. Why it cost $5 million for 30 seconds of a commercial on the NFL championship yesterday. Exposure. It doesn't matter what business you have, the one that masters the art of exposing their business. See, too many people think it has something to do with you. Success has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what you're doing. And that's where you get caught up in your head, and it eliminates 90% of the population. Am I doing it right? Am I saying it right? What do I say? How do I talk? It has nothing. Put up a billboard and the right people will be attracted to it and be consistent at what you're doing. Is this making sense? Yes or yes? Are you guys following me so far? Very simple conversation. So I want to show you 2 videos back to back. One, which is one of my best friends. His name is Pat Mazer. And really about the event, because we have an event. If you don't know the event, what are we building for? It's called March 20th. March Madness, March 20th. And your personal goal should be to see how many people you can get to that billboard on March 20th to see the opportunity. You currently have about 2-3 months, roughly. March 20th, do the counting on the numbers. I'm not doing that for you, but that would be my total focus. Project 20, Project 50, Project 100, Project 200, Project 300. I like 300 because it's a great movie. That's my project. But you pick your number of how many people you're committed, not involved with, committed to being exposed to the full picture of what this business has to offer on March 20th. That's your birthday. Everybody that you know that's interested in making money should be at your birthday party on March 20th. It's a celebration. You do 100 in the year 2021. If you had 100 people at your birthday party, March 20th, I could promise you, you'll put 1,000 people in the business during the year 2021. But don't put a number that you aren't going to make happen. Don't just put it out there because you're a big thinker and you're a big no-doer. So over-deliver to yourself and under-promise. The lowest I would have is 20 people committed, knowing that you have almost 3 months to it. That's just me. So I want you to see this real quick, and then we're going to open everything up. So let me bring on my partner, Mr. Pat Mazer. I'm going to bring him on before I bring on Mr. Greg Provenzano this month for you guys to have a personal conversation with him on either next Monday or the following Monday. I'm going to reach out to him tonight. For those who are brand new, Pat Mazer has been #1 in the company at least 75% of the time for the last 10 years. And if he isn't #1, someone on his team is #1 if it's not on my team. It's that simple. Right now, for the last 10 years, #1 for customer acquisition has been my team. And before that, in the previous decade, it was my team. We switch back and forth of which team is going to dominate. And it depends. And then if you add countries to it, I control Australia. And he makes it anyway. It just keeps going. So watch this real quick. I want this. Actually, what I need to do is I need to make sure it's going through your guys' speakers. So let me share from this perspective. And you want to take notes off of this, by the way. Hopefully, you don't just listen like a voyeur, like you're at a movie in a theater and you're just listening. And take notes so that you have some solid questions and understand what's going on here. Or if you're an audio person, make sure that I would just write down bullet points. I'll tell you where to get it afterwards. Just be smart and just act like I'm giving you the numbers to a lottery ticket to win the lottery tonight, and you'll pay attention differently. The point of my conversation is to get you to listen, not hear what I'm sharing with you here. So let's do this and let's get this party started.
I came to a training like this. I drove to Ohio. It was in Cleveland, Ohio. I drove the whole way there. The gentleman up in front of the room was making $50,000 or $55,000 a month. I was blown away. He was in front of the room. He's going, I make 50 G's a month. I helped my mom. I built her a house. He was talking about all the things that he did. I couldn't believe it. I was probably, let me see, I was about right, oh, excuse me here. I was sitting right about here. And he goes, anybody that goes to the training can be up in front of that room someday. And I was like, are you kidding me? Do you think that's really possible? I couldn't believe it. I was literally, do you think possibly one day I could make 50,000? You know, not, come on, seriously. And I sat there and I thought, oh, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't have $150. That credit card that I gave for the $4.99, there's nothing left on it. Does that make sense? And I started sitting there thinking to myself, you know what, I have to work. I live with my parents. My car's not going to make it. You know what I mean? I started going through, right? Hello? Right? Then I started doubting myself. You know what? I'm not as good as that guy. I could probably never speak like him. He's so genuine. I don't think I'm that genuine. Does that make sense? And I started all of a sudden questioning whether or not I had what it takes to go to the national training and have the kind of success that I truly deep down inside of myself wanted to have. So I sat here. They passed out the forms. And I signed up. I got pre-registered that day. I called my credit card company. I got an extension where they actually will raise your credit limit if you call them. And I said, look, I need some extra income on my card. I didn't know how I was getting there. I didn't work that part out. I didn't know where I was staying. Didn't work that part out. Does that make sense? But here's what I found, is that once I made the decision to go, everything else started working out. The person that was sitting 2 people behind me ended up letting me stay in his room. Does that make sense? He goes, listen, are you going? I go, I'm going. Are you going? I go, great. Do you mind if we maybe bunk up, share up together? Does that make sense? I had a room. Now all of a sudden I had to just work on getting there. But here's what was interesting is that some of you are sitting in this audience right now as we talk about this national, and you're already talking yourselves out of it. It could be the greatest weekend of your life. You could have a life-changing experience that you've always wanted, that all of you are here to have something great happen to you, and because it is in Fort Worth, because it is at the end of the month, because it costs $150 to go, because, you're already talking yourselves out of it. But I know there's some of you that are talking yourselves into it. I know there's some of you that are sitting here right now going, you know what, I sat right there. So here's what I'll share with you. That is what you got to understand. And I have not had anybody. Joanne, who was opened up today, I remember she went to training. She didn't have the confidence, the belief. She didn't believe she could do it. She went to training. I remember you up on the stands. We were way up at the top. And you were standing there. I remember talking to you right at the top. And you could just tell in her eyes, she was like, this is it. She made a decision. I could tell she made a decision. It didn't matter how many reps she had at the time, which was none, how many customers she had, which was a few. She went team coordinator. Does that make sense? Because she was there and made a decision. And the day that I told her to go to the national, I told a whole room of other people to go too. She's the only one that went. And she was the one that opened up the training today. And she was the same person that had a million excuses and reasons why she couldn't go and found one little reason to go. The world will step in and help you if you make a decision. Yeah. I know just the people that are working with you right now, let me share something with you. They'll help you out with a room. I guarantee they'll help you out any way they can to get you there. All you have to do is say, I'm open, I'm ready, let's do it. What do I got to do? Trust me, they will jump in and do whatever it takes to get you there. Alexander drove 15 people. You know why? Because that's what you do. Because he had 15 people that wanted to go that couldn't go. They couldn't afford a $400 plane ticket. He said, don't worry about it. Let's go. I had Jeff do the same thing. Did all kinds of stuff. Brian Saucier, who trained today in front of this room, went to the first national. Brian, where you, right? Did not want to go. Jeff paid for his flight. Jeff paid for his ticket. He did not want to go. He had no success in ACN. Today, he did one of the greatest trainings probably here today. Would you agree with that? Understand. He sat, I remember him. We were in Detroit. We were in Detroit, Michigan, 8, 9 months ago. He was sitting in my room in Detroit, no success, no customers, no reps. He had no customers, no reps. No customers, no reps. No customers, no reps. Does that make sense? A handful of months ago, he sat in my room. He went to the convention. He goes, that's it. Made a decision. But he could have made that decision in New Jersey, but he couldn't because he needed the insight, the information, the inspiration, the training. Does that make sense? He needed everything that was there to get inside of him to allow him to come out as a champion. Bottom line. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass out pre-registration forms. For those of you that are not pre-registered, get pre-registered. We're going to fax them in. You're going to have a ticket with your name on it, and let's get this thing on. And that's the bottom line. And any reason why you can't go is the exact reason why you should go. Now we're going to show you a quick video. Maybe we could roll the national video real quick, just so you guys can get a feeling of what the national convention is like. And then we're going to bring up our next speaker, who is an awesome individual that's going to talk a little bit about what you need to do to get your businesses up and running very, very effectively and successfully. All right? Can I get one of those forms too? Okay. Now, if you're not a rep, here's what I'll share with you. Even if you're a guest, you can go to the convention. Does that make sense? This is going to give you an idea of what our convention's like. We're going to leave, we'll leave some of these lights on just so that they can fill out the form. If you need something to write on, if you need something to write with, they'll help you actually make sure that you fill out everything the right way. And can you run the video real quick?
Belief in the ACN system, everything will work out for you. Your life can go from tragic to magic in a short period of time. More than ever, right now is the time. Today's a new day, and you can start it right here and right now.
These events will do more for us individually than any one of us could ever do for ourselves. Get excited about living your dream.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you've been, what you've done. Do not ever let anybody take the dream away from you.
This is our chance to do something special.
We are the strongest, most powerful distribution network that the world has ever seen.
This business works. It is the best opportunity on the planet. You want to have time and money together. And ACN's the vehicle to get us there.
We have the right people in place. We will always do the right thing. And this company is a company of character.
And you're looking at a company that will not compromise what we stand for.
You know what? This is a business that crosses cultures, race, religion. We have an opportunity to bring the world together. More people should learn from us. This is it. This is our chance. Your future is now. Is everyone excited?
You have found your home. Go for it.
I recommend ACN very highly.
Everybody here is either a self-made millionaire or you intend to be. We came here to change our lives, change our future, change our world.
Think about that thing that used to be a should, and now is a must.
I will see you, and yes, I really do mean you. Not just at the top, I'm gonna see you over the top.
You need to start living the life that you deserve right now.
This is it.
Let's go. What I want you guys to see in this is really what in that more than anything else, why did I have you go through listening to the video? Because if you are not showing people that video, here, let me stop sharing my screen real quick. If I can figure out how to do that real quick. Stop share. There we go. If you aren't really utilizing the system, what happens is when you get into your head, you start to skip steps. And you feel like you know what you're doing, and you can see, you got to understand how powerful, and this sounds really crazy and redundant and may miss some people. If I'm not having success, it's not because I'm bad. Me being you, you being me. If I'm not having success, it's not because I'm bad, it's because I'm bad at duplicating a system that works. I want you guys to get that. Success in this business has nothing to do with you as a person. It has to do with you duplicating a system and getting people. That video, as you can tell, you can look at that audio and see that that's over 15 years old. That's an old video. And it still works today, which is why they're in the top 5 money earners in the world. And when you can get excited, not about a business, but about your dream, and link a business to it that has provided of fulfilling your dream, then you can get excited about an event. And here's some of the biggest mistakes people are going to make. Because you don't have to get on a plane, because you don't have to get a hotel room, because you don't have to allocate and do something with the children, because you don't have to ask for time off at your job, because you don't have to find the extra financing and expense to pay for something that you don't understand, because that excitement and exhilaration is in a space in which you're doing it passively and not full out, then in turn, you may allocate and have it on your calendar, but it's different if you plan to go from where you live right now to Cabo, or if you're going to the Virgin Islands, or if you're going to Africa, or if you're going to visit London. There's too much thought process that has to go into who's gonna water my plants, who's gonna watch my dog, who's gonna look after my kids. So you have allocated all this capacity in your brain to now focus, and you're also thinking about who's going with me. If you're smart, you're looking at, and you have to create value. I have had the best success of having people go 3,000 miles away from their home within 48 hours before the event, because they made a decision. I need to understand this if it's going to change my life. The problem with today's society is that because it's going to be right there on your computer in your house, you're going to 70-80% are going to truly multitask. Whenever your brain shuts down, you're just going to look at it and you're going to go do something in the house. You're going to go get something to eat. You're going to take a break from the screen. Worst thing you could ever do. See, if you're actually at the actual event where there's 20,000 people where I started at, then you can go outside and get some air for a minute, go to the bathroom, go get some food, but you're going right back into the event. At home, the problem is just like when we do this right here. I'll tell you why people, and I'll put people on blast. 80% of the people right now don't have their picture up because they're multitasking. I can't afford to multitask because you guys are looking at me. I'm speaking. I have to be 100% present. I have to be here and give you 100% of me. I promise you, everybody that has their picture on, they got a whole lot of other stuff going on. And that's why people fail, because they don't give 110%. I can't afford to do that as a leader. This didn't start at SVP. This started when I started and made the decision to be an SVP and be a regional vice president, that I was always 100% present. You can't go to a meeting, right, at a briefing or a home meeting and host a meeting and say, oh, nobody can see me. I can hide behind and not put my picture up. See, the lack of commitment, not involvement of the way people get on computers kills their life. They're already saturated in their thinking. I want to be 100% committed. There's no way I can just put this up here and be like, you know what? Could you bring me something to eat? Could you bring me something? I'm here, you guys, and train. See, the more I'm involved with the process, I don't do the presentation and the training and these calls for anyone other than the person that is as committed as I am. I don't know who that is. And if I can't see you, I don't believe you. Just like if you sat up there and you said, okay, I'm sitting outside Starbucks or outside of, whatever coffee shop, but I'm going to share the presentation from my car over the phone. Are you sitting in there? Great. Why the hell did we go to the coffee shop? That's just stupid. Well, I didn't want you to see me. What? Is anybody understanding the psychology of what I'm talking about here? It's like, if you want your leadership to be 100% present with you, why wouldn't you be 100% present with your leader? If I'm only doing, and that's why I'm not doing anymore. By the way, it's 2021. I'm not doing no more presentations on Sunday. I'm not even gonna apologize for yesterday. If you aren't doing your own presentations, then you shouldn't be making any money. It's that simple. I give way too much training and way too great at training that if you're on the court doing your business, you'll have 5 new people on the call next Monday. You'll have 10 new people on the call. I've offered to be able to have personal trainings with the founder, with SVPs. I've offered $10,000 to anybody who even takes me up on just putting in the work of exposing the business, and people haven't taken it up. Psh, no, Why would I need to do a presentation? I already make my money. I'm good. I've been retired for, what? Why do I need to work so hard? Why do I need to give up my God Sunday to bless people who only gonna get 1 or 2 people on my call? Are you kidding? I'm done. It's 2021. I got too many other things to do. But I will train a brand new person. You give me a new person, it's easier to what? Write it down. It's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. So you bring me a new person, I'll water the new person. I'm not watering old people no more. My system and my store hours will stay the same. Every Monday, 6 p.m., I'll be here until it clicks for somebody. And they figure out, okay, all I got to do is show a video. Okay, all I got to do is get there's a whole lot of us as with the title VP. There's a presentation at least 3 times a day. Go find somebody else if you don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I got too many other bigger fish to fry. But I will, if you bring me a new leader, grow you a leader that will do what you will not do. I hope this is hitting home with somebody. Is anybody present to this conversation? It's like they got videos, they got audio, they got YouTube, they got all kinds of senior vice presidents, many in which I've trained, if not all of them, and many that are doing better than me, most that aren't doing as well as me. But guess what? You have an exclusive, beautiful arsenal of extraordinary leaders. But Renata and Boris are #1 this month, again, for the last 5 years. I mean, I always keep somebody, if not 2 or 3, in the top 10. You know, I mean, there's Mr. Terali. He's #4 right now. Trained him. All my leaders they take what I'm sharing. Somehow it kicks in at some point that they end up dominating the charts, which means checks are hitting their bank account. I want checks to hit your bank account. But time is limited right now for all the things I have on the table. So I'm not going to just do it with the hopes that one person, that when somebody shows up and they deserve personal attention from me, I will jump in your house. I'll get on a plane and blow your business up. Until then just keep plugging into the calls. Because you only need 1 or 2 people to explode your business. I believe in phase 10 and 10. If you sponsor 10 people, I did this training with Mr. Al Thomas. If you actually sponsor 10 people who wanted to change their life and income, and you taught them to do what you did, you just spent a month to find 10 people. You didn't stop with 1, 2, or 3. You didn't get excited on 4 or 5. You didn't get excited with one person who has all the influence in the world, but you just went and you did not stop. And you understood the numbers, which I will cover on the next call, to be able to get 10 people just involved with playing the game. 3 people will run without you. That's the sequence. If you actually work to get 10 seeds planted and growing, 3 will turn into redwood trees without you. But if you're Jack and the Beanstalk, only counting on 3 or 4 seeds that you planted, that's called a fable. You're going to be hungry for the next season. There is no Jack, there is no Beanstalk that's going to go up to the sky and you got 3 magical beans. You got to put together. If you just look at what's happening with the football league and the basketball league and all these different leagues, basketball right now, I think there's at least 8 teams that have had canceled games, some of them 4 and 5, because they don't have more than 8 people that can play because they have COVID or they have something. So you have to have a team. You only need 5 people on the court, but you got to have a backup squad. Here, you only need 3 to be able to generate and get to RD. And some of you don't even have 1.5, including yourself. It's like, what? 3 people will free you from, will get your time freedom back. And that's going to come down to something clicking in you of just being pissed off and excited at the same time and turning the oven on broil. Once you stop thinking, you will just do. And you'll take all the information and training and you start to apply it, and you'll just fail forward and fail forward and fail forward. I just had this conversation with somebody else. I was like, the reason why I do the presentations and the conversations that I have is the more input that I put in, the more I'm not worried about the outcome. I'm not worried about the output. I'm worried about the income, because in every project that I'm working on, the more I'm involved with the project, I'm the only one that knows what's going on. Everybody else got questions. You know why? Because they aren't committed. The way you do it, write this down. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. If you're scattered, you're scattered. If you're unorganized, you're unorganized. If you're trying to ride 3 horses at one time, you're still trying to ride 3 horses at one time. Until you focus and you get committed to something, everything that I put my hand on, I'm committed. I learn every aspect about that game. Somebody had offered me, they said, "Why, you could talk to this person about this project you're working on and they can give you all the answers." I said, no, I don't want anybody to show me. Just so when I get in this business, my son has my same DNA. When somebody shows us, we get lazy, because now it's almost like having Google. I like the encyclopedias. I like Webster. I like having to look stuff up, because once I know it, you can't take it from me. Once you know how to make 10,000 a month in this business, no one can take it from you. Once you know how to make 6 figures in this business, no one can take it from you. Once you learn how in life to make 7 figures, no one can take it from you. Once you may lose it, but you can make it right back again. The average multimillionaire on the planet Earth since the beginning of time has gone bankrupt a minimum of 2.5 times. And you know what? Because they know how to go back and get it again and again. There's no fear in losing at that point. They've overcome, oh my God, penny pinching, like 98% of the population. How much is it? I don't know. Well, should I do it? Well, I've researched this. What are you, a scientist? Well, I read this. But this is why CEOs that live from an entrepreneurial perspective control the world. They employ everybody else that's not willing to take the risk. Everybody else wants a safe way, but the safe way the safe way in 2021 is actually the riskiest way to live. Somebody's going to get that after this call is over. So I want you to see the list. It's an old piece I've done. You should have watched it, but I'm telling you, the strongest way to be able to truly blow your business up is get 10 people that are interested in the business and do a ZCOC, a Zoom call over cocktail and coffee. To do onesies and twosies, you're nickel and diming and killing your business, and you just aren't in all-out massive action. 1 minute on 100 people versus 100 minutes on 1. Make your list, call as many people. How many people I have to call? As many as you got to call until you have 10 confirmations. May only be 5 people to get on. 4 may flake. 3 may have gotten COVID. I don't know. People just come up with excuses and reasons, but if I got 10 confirmations 48 hours from now, not 48 weeks from now, not 2 weeks, okay, I'm going to do mine in next week. No, you aren't, liar. What are we talking about? Sending out 20 text messages to get 10 confirmations to see an opportunity that will change your life? And making a commitment to a date on a computer where you don't have to leave your house? Are you kidding me? And all I have to do, me being you, you being me, is master the art of an invite. Heck, you could be deaf, dumb, and blind and send it in Braille. And it'll show up on the other side of the computer. Are you open to changing your life in 2021? Yes! The right person's going to say yes. The wrong person's going to say no. The third person's going to say, well, what is it? All you're looking for is the yeses. And just invite until you get 20 yeses. Anyway, watch this real quick. The most important thing let's go. The most important thing you can get out of a new prospect in this business, starting with self, the most important thing you can get from somebody in this business, starting with self and then every prospect you talk to, is called a list. Let's go. The most important thing you can get out of a new prospect in this business, starting with self, the most important thing you can get from somebody in this business, starting with self and then every prospect you talk to, is called a list. Let's go. The most important thing you can get out of a new prospect in this business, starting with self. The most important thing you can get from somebody in this business, starting with self, and then every prospect you talk to, is called a list. Maybe you guys didn't hear it. I just want to make sure you heard it. I don't know. Maybe I think it's important. Prospect in this business, starting with self. Here, I don't know. The most important thing you can get from somebody in this business, starting with self, and then every prospect you talk to, is called a list. With self, and then every prospect you talk to, is called a list. You talk to, is called a list. It's called a list. It's called a list. It's called a list. It's called a list. I don't know if y'all taking notes. I don't know. I'm just trying to check to make sure you guys are present. It's the goose that laid the egg in your list. It should be constantly growing an egg in your list. It's the egg. It's the goose that laid the golden egg. It's the egg. The most important. It is the ghost. The list is the most important. It is the ghost. It's the egg. It's the goose that laid the golden egg in your list. It should be constantly growing, constantly growing. It's amazing how people say, "Well, I called everybody on my list." How many people live here in Melbourne? 4 million. 4 million? You've called everybody? You called everybody? So you got to understand the psychology of being able to launch your business. If I open up a restaurant, the first people I'm going to call is everybody I know. And if I open up a Mexican restaurant, the first thing my people are going to say is, "You're black. What are you doing opening up a Mexican restaurant?" And I'm going to say, in Compton, there's Chinese opening up a black soul food restaurant. So what are you telling me? It's just a business. And if you love me, 60% of the people that I invite, they're going to come and eat for free anyway. That's all they're coming for. And then 40% are going to come because they really want to see me, what I'm doing, and support me. Only 10% are genuinely interested in anything that I might be doing. Does everybody understand that? So stop getting caught up in your warm market. In fact, people tell me all the time, "Well, nobody in my family really supports me." Good. They aren't. Are you guys really? I mean, really? Really? If the people you knew know how to be wealthy, you wouldn't need an opportunity. All they're doing is telling you you're abnormal. And you tell them when you drive in front of them in your Cayenne, "I am." Does that make sense to everybody? I mean, it's real simple. Don't leave. Let my people go. I mean, you guys just stop getting caught up in the warm market. People say, "Well, could you teach me how to go get cold market?" Here's my philosophy: if you breathe, you're warm. Okay? I don't believe in this cold market thing. I believe in anybody breathing that can say hello. That don't smile at me. That would be the worst thing. That's you just look. Hi. How you doing, man? How you doing, man? I'm a Python over here. Don't say hi to me. I'll go and take over a nation like that. That's the worst thing they can do. They just open themselves up. Are y'all following me on that so far? Write down, "A closed mouth never gets fed." Also write down, "The phone is my friend." Closed mouth never gets fed. The phone is my friend. I love the phone because people don't know what I look like on the other side of the phone. I've mastered conversations on the phone. Oh my God. I've been white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, hood. I've been hood rat. I've been everything. Dog, what up, y'all? Yeah, what up, you man? You want to make some paper over here? I mean, I have no problem with it. I mean, Jolo, yeah, man. I mean, I go straight hood. It doesn't matter. I can go to Harvard on you. I can do whatever you want me to do because all I want to do is get them the information. The information never changes. I'm in relationship marketing, so I have fun. And when you have that list, if I'm calling his list, see, if I got 3 people, is everybody with me on this so far? If I have 3 people, and how many people do you have in your phone? 100. How many do you have in your phone? 300. 70. So I have 100, 370. That's 470 people. I never have to go and prospect another person in my life. Because I'm going to pick up that phone. What's your name? Ibrahim? Abraham. So I'm going to call up John and say, "Hey, John, I'm sitting here with Abraham. He told me that you have high integrity, that you have an incredible work ethic, you want to do great things for your family, and you hate your job. Did he lie about any of that?" What's John going to say? "I have no integrity. I hate my family." It's a setup. Are y'all following me on this so far? And all I want to do, and guess what? If he says I would never do anything like that, I don't know this guy anyway. I don't like you anyway. How can I like you? people to be able to make a phone call and make as many mistakes as you want. Write this down. The one that makes the most mistakes will make the most money. It's that simple. Oh, it's on its way. You just have to stand long enough to get it. Remember, I told you it's a 5-year journey. It can show up in 2 years or in 5 years, but if you aren't here in 5 years, it doesn't matter. Somebody else is going to cash the check on the work you put in. I've seen it happen time and time again. Does this make sense? Is everybody with me on that so far? Yes. That list, you start tapping, that list is phenomenal because you start working that list, and as your team builds, you should never have to, if you have 3 people not in your business, interested in your business, you should never have to go and get another prospect for the next 5 years if you're working your business properly. Did that make sense? Okay? That's the list. I mean, I could talk about that. That's a whole day training, but that's the list. Next, okay?
If I had the pleasure of bringing out.
Here's the training. So, 1 minute early. Any questions you guys have before I shut it down? You guys, you're wide open to ask any questions you want to ask in regards to everything that I just shared. Any curious? I have a question. Talk about your greatest takeaway of what you got out of this training. I would love to know that as well. Go right ahead, Fatnay.
Okay, so I really like the what he just said about the list, because I've been doing lots of presentations. And I'll be honestly, there's great. We've gotten consistent with presentations. We're consistent, really consistent now. But we have lots of presentations with no people on them or 1 person or 2 people. So the list, that's my biggest takeaway, is to go back to, now we have the presentations down pat. We need to go back to the list and actually invite to the presentation, because what's the point of having a presentation with 1 person on it?
So let's go for ETL and above. Who's sitting next to you?
Kim.
I know who you are. I want her to say it. So you have Kim.
Yeah, Kim.
Do you have Kim's list?
Yeah, I gave it to her last year.
No, Fatnay, do you have Kim's list of 100 people?
No.
Then there's your reason why nobody's on the call. Who are you calling? You haven't called anybody. Kim's sitting right next to you. How long has Kim been sitting next to you? And you don't have her list, which means you haven't made any phone calls. It's not Kim's business. See, nobody in my business it's not Ty's business. It's not Alicia's business. It's not Sway and Maya's business. They don't have a business until you take it from me and you start making money without me. That's what Renata and Boris did. That's what Dean Tarali did. That's what Mike Basutti did. That's what Jeff Weber did. Every leader that makes money, that's what Joel has done. Every person, however they want to run their business, nobody has a business until they're an RD and they're making money without me and they take the business back from me. Until then, it's my business. I can work Maya and Sway's list today or in 6 months. Whenever they want to make money, they will go in and make sure that those lists are here. It's like, okay, we need to attack this list. Okay, we haven't had any success in 7 days. How long do you have to go without a check? Fatnay says, I haven't gotten a check in 4 weeks. How long do you go without if you have a tenant, and you understand this, Fatnay, in real estate, and your tenant doesn't pay for 4 months, do you just say, well, they haven't paid, maybe they'll pay next month? Hell no, you evict them and get somebody else. You got to be able to enforce. It's a 2-way street.
Yeah.
The leader that's coming, Kim should have enforced and said, why are we not making money? Are we supposed to be working a list together or something? And you should have, if you want to make money with somebody, where's your list? I mean, why are we who are you inviting on the call? So there's no list that's being worked.
We had 1 list, we worked it.
This is a learning thing.
Callback.
Yeah.
We're gonna make our callbacks.
Yeah, more lists.
Because it's impossible to utilize the application of the way that I share how to work this business to pique interest. And I go after 20 people for someone on your list to ask them, look, you don't know me, but I'm working directly with Fatnay. I need to know, we're working on a project. It's launching on Monday, and that's going to be on February 8th. And I wanted to know, this project, based on who you are as a teacher, Kim, and what I've heard you doing in real estate and teaching other people, I believe based on because I only work on referral only. I'm leaving a voice print. I only work on referral only. So based on what Fatnay told me about you, Kim, we need to have a conversation if you're open to using your skill set with making money in this project. I think there's a lot of money on the table for who you are and what you do. She told me you have a great amount of integrity and amazing work ethic, and we can work on something part-time in conjunction with your real estate. All I'm doing is relating to who Kim is like, if she doesn't call me back directly, if she's an alpha female, she's like, who is this, Mr. Nelson? Let's talk, Mr. Nelson. Yeah, I'm in real estate. This is what I'm doing. If she's not an alpha, she's a beta, and she's a passive woman, she's going to call you and be like, who's Mr. Nelson? Call me. I'm interested in what he's talking about. And he's referring. But it's impossible to be able to have a relating conversation like that with 20 people, let alone 100 people, and not find 3 people in this economy who say, hell yeah, let's go make some money. What you got going on? And that's an hour a day of us contacting. If you got a list of 100 people, that's 2 weeks of us contacting 10 people a day with a text, an email, or a voice print.
Voice print.
What's a voice print?
Me leaving you a voicemail on your cell phone or through your text message or through your WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
That's a voice print.
I never heard of voice print. I'll do one. Now I know.
Who's your upline, Kim?
Me.
Oh, and Kim, you've never heard of a voice print. There's why nobody's been on the calls. Now,
So do I do a voice print for her?
Should you do a voice print for me? Do I just give her my list
Yeah.
so she calls everybody?
Yeah.
I'm using Kim and Fatney as an example, but you guys know I could use every one of you only because I know Fatney knows how to take it.
Yeah.
Some of you guys will get really offended if I put you on blast. You're like, why are you targeting me? Why are you talking about me in front of all these people? Because if you can't take it from here, if somebody who loves you trying to coach you and train you, what the hell? No wonder you aren't going to make any money out there. People outside of here don't care about you. I care about you winning. I'm telling you what you are not doing. It's just work. An hour a day will make your bills go away and get you paid in this business if you apply yourself. Consistency.
I know, I'm trying.
There is no try.
I am. I'm being consistent.
I know. You guys, thank you. Okay?
It's a new time, man. We're good.
No more talking for you guys. I love you. So what I'm sharing is I need you guys to get on the court and understand. What other questions you got? Does anybody else have any other questions? Or did you, anybody get a big, Fatney, you guys can't talk.
I have a question. That was my takeaway, but I have a question. It was about the social media. You made a voice print in one of the feeds about social media. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how long should I be spending on social media doing content and engaging? Because if you don't engage with people.
Well, here's the question. Are you utilizing my system to contact the people who want to be your friend the way I taught you? Don't say anything. That's number one. Number two, with what you have been doing on social media in the last 90 days, how much money has it made you? So if it hasn't made me any money, I'm not using any more social media. I'm gonna find a different way. If you're applying my system to be able to attack 100 people that are in your waiting room requesting to be your friend, that's a different application. So it really comes down to everything that we do should be result oriented, period. So.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll take 2 more questions if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, I think this was a very powerful training. To me, it was. I got a lot out of it, and I did it. I think you guys got a lot out of it. No more questions? Good. We are complete.
No, wait, I have a question.
Okay.
My takeaway is that your list must be constant and keep going.
Awesome. Beautiful. Terry?
Are you gonna send this out? Because I was trying to write as fast as I could when you were.
Yes, you can get it from Wendy. I will download this. I'm not going anywhere tonight. You get a copy of this.
Please. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just all you gotta do is text Wendy and say, let me have today's training.
Okay.
I'll make sure she gets today's training.
Thank you.
You're welcome, love.
Mr. Nelson? Mr. Nelson?
Let's start with Kalila, and then I don't know who else was talking. Yes, Kalila?
My takeaway from today was the list starts with you. We have, with it growing, we're always like coming back to yourself and starting with you. So
100%.
That's what I got.
Yep. Awesome, baby. And then you can look in the text message. If anybody does not have Wendy's number, only contact her through WhatsApp, and her number is in the chat right now. So if you're brand new, go ahead and get her number and don't ever lose it. It's like having, a Bible next to you, for those that understand the power of that. Trying to reach me or coordinate anything, you're going to have to go and make sure it's coordinated with her anyway. Awesome. Did anybody else have something? Am I missing anybody? Are we good? Are we great? Are we amazing? Can we go and make some money this week? Excellent. I love you guys. Have an amazing evening. Okay. I will know.
Thank you very much.
I will know that this has been effective based on the results we have of how many new people you have on the call next Monday. Okay. So I love you guys. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Have you too. Thank
So
you.
don't forget about Friday, you guys. Friday, Freaky Fridays. Be on my call with Mr. Al Thomas, 9 a.m. in the morning. If you don't have the information, get it from whoever got you on the call. 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Friday. Don't miss that call. Okay, you guys. Love you guys.